Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to dive into a skill that's, well, it's fundamental to being human, persuasion. And we're not just going to scratch the surface, we're going straight to the original master himself.
Okay, let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like you're just talking to a wall? You know, you've got this brilliant idea. You know it's a winner. But when you try to explain it to your team or your boss, you just get crickets, blank stares. It is so frustrating, right? That feeling of not being heard.
Well, what if I told you the solution isn't some new, trendy communication hack? What if the most powerful framework for convincing anyone was actually figured out more than 2,000 years ago by the ancient Greek philosopher Aristotle? Yep, that Aristotle. Let's dig in.
To really get this, we need to travel back in time. Picture ancient Athens. This wasn't just a city for deep philosophical thoughts. No, this was a high-stakes world where your ability to persuade, it could literally be a matter of life and death. And the name of this game was a little something called rhetoric.
Now, for Aristotle, rhetoric wasn't just about sounding smart or winning debates for fun. It was a tool, a super practical one. Think about it. In the Greek courts, you had to defend yourself. There were no lawyers. In the public assembly, a powerful argument could literally shape the future of your city. Rhetoric wasn't a luxury. It was a survival skill.
So how did it all work? Well, Aristotle broke persuasion down into three essential parts, three pillars that create this timeless triangle. And the amazing part is, this framework is so powerful, it's still being taught in boardrooms and universities all over the world today.
Okay, so here it is, the big three. First, you've got ethos. That's all about your character, your reputation. It's the answer to the question, why should I trust you? Then there's logos. That's the logic of your argument. Does it actually make sense? Does it hold water? And finally, pathos. This is all about emotion, about making your audience feel what you're saying. Aristotle's real genius was seeing that you absolutely need all three. You can't just have a great argument with no credibility. You can't just be passionate with no facts. True persuasion is all about that perfect balance.
And this quote, man, it just nails the whole idea. Persuasion isn't about shouting your own reasons at someone. It's about understanding their reasons, their values, their way of thinking, and connecting on their level. It totally flips the script. It's about them, not you.
All right, let's get practical. We'll start with logos, the logic of your case. To make your argument truly bulletproof, you need a solid structure. And lucky for us, the ancients perfected a simple 5-step plan that is so effective, I promise, once you know it, you will start seeing it absolutely everywhere.
The formula is almost deceptively simple, but it just works. First, the bait. You gotta hook them, grab their attention. Then you present the problem. After that, you offer your brilliant solution. Next, you spell out the payoff, what's in it for them. And you wrap it all up with a clear call to action. This isn't just dusty old theory. It's the secret architecture behind pretty much every great sales pitch or TV ad you've ever seen. And just look at how perfectly this ancient plan plays out in the modern world. Take this old ad from Shell. The bait, a super popular song and cool visuals. The problem, they hit you with this scary fact about lead in the air from cars. The solution they offered? Their new half-lead petrol. The payoff? It's better for your car, and hey, it's better for all us. And that clear, simple call to action? Go well, go Shell. That is pure Aristotle. Right there in a 30-second commercial. But look, having a great argument, that strong logos, is only one part of the equation. It's completely useless if you don't connect with the people you're talking to. And this is where ethos and pathos come roaring back in. You have to know your audience, because an audience isn't just one big faceless crowd, right? It's made up of individuals, and each person has their own personality, their own values, and their own way of taking in information. So if you want to be truly persuasive, you can't just have one style. You've got to adapt.
Now, to really nail that ethos and pathos, we can use a modern tool that's inspired by the work of Carl Jung. It helps organize people on two simple axes. First, how they get their energy. Are they an extrovert or an introvert? And second, how they make decisions. Are they a thinker or a feeler? This simple grid gives us 4 key profiles to help us adapt our message.
The shaker, the communicator, the auditor, and the sharer.
And this right here shows why you can't use the same cookie-cutter approach for everyone. A communicator who's an extroverted feeler, they respond to pathos. You persuade them with passion, with stories, with big-picture energy. But an auditor, the introverted thinker, they're looking for pure logos. They want data, details, and the time to process it all. You see? Trying to hype up an auditor with passion is like trying to get a communicator excited about a spreadsheet. It's just never going to work.
So, the big question is, how do you pull it all together? How do you balance your character, your logic, and your passion to become really, truly effective? Well, let's look at one final real-world story.
This is the story of John Bell. He was a very successful businessman, the managing director for Esprit Clothing in Australia. But he got to a point where he realized he wanted to do more than just sell t-shirts. He wanted to make a real difference in the lives of at-risk young people. So he decided he was going to lead with his values.
And this quote just captures it perfectly. He synthesized the entire Aristotelian triangle. He didn't just bring his head, his logos, the smart business case, to work anymore. He started bringing his heart, his pathos, his passion for the cause, and his soul, his ethos, his character and integrity. By building trust, making a logical case, and inspiring people emotionally, he became a true master persuader.
In the end, persuasion isn't about manipulation. It's the art of connection. It's about building trust, having a solid argument, and really, truly understanding your audience. The famous management thinker Peter Drucker said it best: the moment you move up from the bottom rung of any ladder, your effectiveness depends entirely on this skill. So the real question I want to leave you with is this. Now that you know the principles, how are you going to use them to become more effective in your own world?